This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation. Welcome to the DPS Tech Arena for this week's edition of Life's a Pitch TV. I'm your host, Mark Murphy, and what a capacity crowd we have this week. Bigger than a Donald Trump rally they are, my goodness. Yay! Mind you, that's not saying quite so much these days, but let me introduce to the team, Terry Butcher, Yay! Russell Osman, Yay! And he's got a better offer, Luke Chambers. He has a song, doesn't he? He comes when he wants. We didn't rehearse that bit. We really should have done, perhaps. Never mind. On technicals, we've got Richard, John and Mark. We've got Leslie and Sarah, our floor managers. Give them all a big round of applause. And the Churchman stand, sponsored by John Keeble Cars. The North stand, sponsored by Ashford Wright. We're on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Suffolk Sound or on podcast, you are most welcome as well. And don't forget to get your tickets for the most important thing coming up involving Ipswich Town. How many of you were online today getting your tickets? I'm talking about our end of season bash, not Ed Sheeran. Okay? The end of season bash. So get your tickets now, because come this weekend they will stop being on sale. So go to www.lifespitch.tv for our end of season bash, which is coming up Wednesday next week in the Willow Suite at Venue 16. Always a good night, Butch, isn't it? The end of season. We had one, Alan Brazil, if you remember. If you remember last year.
Yeah, it was a very quiet night, I think, wasn't it? There's a few expletives. And a few pints drunk as well.
Yes,
by
yes.
Alan, I think.
Memorable, Russ, that, wasn't it?
A night not to be forgotten.
Yeah. Still available, like all our old shows, on YouTube, so you can go back and watch that if you didn't see it. I think it is still one of our most watched shows, that one. I don't think we had any F-bombs that season at all, but we had about 30 that night, so...
Just 30, I think that was more than that, to be honest.
That was Alan telling his wife to shut up most of the time.
Was, yeah.
But we've got Matt Holland's coming, isn't he?
Yep.
I think Milter's coming as well.
Yep.
Hopefully Dozza.
Yep.
George.
Yep, George is coming.
George, and we're hoping to get a couple of players from the club as well. Walkie, yep. So it's going to be a good night. So rub shoulders with the stars, but don't leave it to the last minute. Book now, www.lifesapitch.tv, and then when you've done that, you can get your Ed Sheeran tickets. Right, so, boys, we're coming to the end of the season. This is our last show that we're going to do in our lovely studio here this season, because we're recording 2 next week in the Willow Suite, our usual show in there, and then we'll do our end-of-season awards. We'll see who's going to get what. But, yeah, it's an interesting season to look back on. Frankly, for me, I can't wait till it's over. I don't know about anybody else, but I've had enough now.
I think we all have, to be honest. But no, it's such a change from the last 2 years. Like this time last year, I think we were up, weren't we? So it's it's disappointing because it promised so much, and the town and the club has promised so much on the pitch as well. It just failed to get over the line. It just couldn't hold on to leads. We went ahead a lot of times in the season, and always got pegged back. But playing against some really top class opposition and a very ruthless league as well. It's very brutal. So I think they would have learnt a lot from that. And we obviously got next year to look forward to. And 2 derbies against that mob up the road. So there we go. Yeah, there we go. We didn't beat them when we came up, did we? So we've got to beat them. We owe them something. Yeah.
We owe them an awful lot, yeah. And we are, as Kieran said the other day, we're in a far better place, Russell, now as a club than we were when we got promoted to the Championship from League One. We're much better prepared, aren't we?
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
Well, don't take my word. It's the manager saying it, not me.
Well, I'll take his word then. I looked at one of his articles about 10 days ago. You know, he went round and round the houses and he spoke about everything and how well they've done as a group. And yes, they've done well to get there over the last couple of years. I'm just waiting for him to hold his hand up and say, yeah, but the reason we went down was because we conceded over 2 goals a game. Because we didn't defend well enough. We didn't defend well enough because the players weren't good enough, or his tactics weren't good enough, or the reason we lost 27 points from winning positions was that. And, you know, hold your hand up and just say, you know, there was a reason why we went down, because we weren't good enough at the end of the day. And we're only talking about hitting that 17th spot in the league, pick up another 100 million, hit 17th again next season, pick another 100-odd million up, and build the quality of players you get, and then you end up like with a strong squad of Premier League players. But, you know, I think he's been a bit stubborn in the way that he's gone about playing his game, and like I say, we've conceded over 2 goals a game for the last 2 seasons.
Where's it gone wrong, Butch? What would your assessment be looking at it?
Well, I mean, the first thing you would say would be we went up too quick. We didn't really have a chance to like consolidate in the Championship. But look, you take it. If you go up into the Premier League, back-to-back promotions, you're going to take it and then see what happens. Unfortunately, trying to get the players of quality in during last season and then during the summer, it was very, very difficult to get the real quality that you need. And particularly, you've got to start in football clubs, and you look at building teams. You know, there's a lot of good players that came through, but a lot of League One players as well. So you need a good defence, and like we've obviously played there, so we know what it's like. But you know, the team with the best defence wins the league. But the team with a very good defence secures points the right way through experience and through togetherness, and make sure that they have a good base to work from. Whereas if they do go up, then it's going to take something special for the opposition to break us down. And they did, unfortunately for us, have a lot of special players that could do that. But, you know, I think he needed to spend probably about another 100 million on quality, experienced players for us to really stay there. But clubs that are in the Premier League and have gone up and down and all this sort of thing, including Norwich.
Oh, you're on fire tonight. Well done.
They have the history. They have the players that have that experience, and I think that was where it was difficult for us at that time to have that sort of Premier League mentality. But you know, we were there for a reason, was because we were very good in the Championship. So, you know, for that's fair play. But as Russell says, he's got to have a look. And we've been there as managers. We know what it's like when you lose, and we've been there as players as well to get relegated. And you look at yourself, you look at the mirror, and you just turn it on yourself and just say, what could we have done better? And we could have done better in a lot of places.
Well, let's talk about recruitment then. Because I remember not long ago when we had a manager who recruited players from League One, and everybody said if you recruit players from League One, you'll end up in League One. We've recruited Championship players, and we've ended up in the Championship.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have. But they're better Championship players, or will be better Championship players this season as well. So, you know, you hope. But
would we have been better off not buying those players and getting 2 or 3 players in with Premier League experience? Because we got players in that had never played in the Premier League, and we're expecting them to turn up week in, week out and do it.
Yes, but you would get 2 or 3 players for the money that they would cost, but you wouldn't be able to get all the players that we did. So you've got to set your targets at a certain level of spending, and you hope that these players then will learn quickly and will develop, and you'll develop as a team that, you know, you are hard to break down. When we went up to the Championship, we got Championship players, sort of the best of the Championship players, and it paid off. But we couldn't get the best of the Premier League players because they cost too bloody much.
So we were scoring 3 goals a game in the Championship.
We were, yeah.
Even though we're conceding 2. So, yeah, but you're not going to score 3 goals a game in the Premier League. So something's got to change. So you've got to either lock up your back door a little bit better, or you've got to go and pay for some strikers that are going to get you 3 or 4 goals a season, but we haven't got the finances for that. So your option is make sure your back door's locked up nicely.
Which wasn't locked up at all when we had our first choice goalkeeper in at the beginning of the season. Don't laugh.
No,
that's your recruitment point, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, precisely. The most important job at a football club is recruitment. Somebody who recruits your manager, your coaching staff, and your players. Recruitment is key.
But it has been, since Kieran arrived, fantastic in the main, hasn't it, our recruitment? I don't know what's gone wrong this year.
I mean, there's no talk of because we've gone down, of Kieran McKenna getting the sack. There's no way that's going to happen. The only way that he'll leave this football club is if he gets an offer from someone, Tottenham or whoever it is. Things might happen there. But he's staying he should stay, and I think he will stay for the duration, because he knows there's a big job ahead of him next year, and he'll have a better squad than he's had before to come up from the Championship. So I don't see him worrying about it. My only concern with Kieran is tactically. At home games, we've lost. At home, we've played 17, won 1, drawn 4, lost 12, scored 13 goals, and conceded 40 goals. 40 goals, and that's 7 points.
Yeah, but we beat Chelsea.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
You can't build it on one win, but you've got to do well at home, because the punters pay the money. This is where it's a fortress. Well, it wasn't a fortress, but away from home we were very good because of the system that he played. So he's got to look at either changing a system during the game, or if needs be, then change it towards the end of the game to hang on to results, or to try and nick a point, or nick some more goals. We've done well to nick goals, but it's not been enough, and particularly when you're conceding 4 goals or more in what was it, 9 occasions. So
he's adamant he's going to stick to the way he wants them to play.
I think it's a good way, but you've got to have an alternative, and you've got maybe to tweak it as well. He's got to tweak it, because people will know what he's doing. They'll look back on the evidence from the Championship before and from the Premier League, and he's got to tweak it. So he's got to have alternatives, and that means, we had 2 strikers last year, and Al Hamadi, who did better at Stoke than he did all the time he was at Town. But you've got to have other players. Smodic has been unlucky through injuries, because he looked, he was scoring goals. And you look at Broadhead, Burns, Chaplin, Hurst, Hutchinson, Ogbene, Philogene and Smodic. They've all had big injuries, or roughly big injuries. So that's, trying to get the 3 goals, as Russell's saying, has been very difficult, because he's not had that. That's one thing I could say in his case, in his defence, that he hasn't had the players up front. But at the back, there has been a few injuries, but they've got to keep the door shut even more. And I hope that they will learn from that and be better players as a result.
Let's pick out some players randomly from my notes. Liam Delap was a revelation this season, wasn't he?
Yeah, very good. Where do you start with him? He scored some fantastic goals as soon as he put the blue shirt on, didn't he? He's fantastic. And I think he caught a lot of defenders, good defenders, caught them cold with his physicality. He was powerful, pretty quick for a big lad as well, which surprised a lot of people, and he can finish. And his ratio of chances and hitting the target was very good. He was outstanding, so very pleased for him.
Is there an award next week for the biggest thighs at this football club? I don't know.
If you want there to be, Terry, there can be.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go. He'd win that hands down.
Okay.
He really would.
Who would like to measure them? Yeah, 1 or 2. There are 1 or 2 in the capacity crowd that would volunteer for that job.
But we spoke about it time and time again, playing 2 strikers up front now and again. We're saying if we're conceding goals, there's more emphasis on trying to get more goals at the other end of the pitch, and we've got 2 quality strikers there in Hurst and Delap. Hurst came on, in the last game and nicked himself a goal within the last 15 minutes. So he's been hungry, he's been champing at the bit, and you think, well, let's just take the reins off him and let him go and cause havoc. And
I think he's better. He's better now than what he was at the start of the season. He's certainly learned a lot. He's obviously been injured as well, but I like the look of him. And if I was Kieran now, I'd play him in the last 3 games, because he's got more of a chance of being here next year than probably Liam Delap
Do you
has
think
anyway.
Delap is off?
Yeah, I think there'll be offers, and I think that he'll want to still play in the Premier League. Money talks, so yeah, and probably get some bigger shorts. Like he needs Jack Clark's shorts as well. He needs, because if you have baggy shorts prize, I think Jack Clark will win that hands down.
Okay, well that's 2 categories sorted out
There
for
we
next
go,
week
then,
already.
You got to feel sorry for Jack Clark, though, haven't you? Twice he's come off before half time because
Yeah,
we've got players sent off, and it's like, so we lose a player, and when there's only one sub years and years ago, it didn't really matter that much, did it? And Paul has been hoiked off before half time.
So, do you think Delap's perhaps on his way?
Yeah.
I mean, there'll obviously
I think
money around at the club to try and keep him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think it's out of our hands, really. Probably when the deal was done, when we bought in, there's clauses in there that will be triggered by the fact that we've been relegated. So,
same being rumoured this week about Omari Hutchinson, that there's a relegation clause. I mean, I don't know, but that's one of the rumours going around. So, I mean, he'd get some interest, wouldn't he?
Not quite shone this year as much as he did last year.
He's had injury problems too, and it's playing him. Where do you play him?
Played well for England, hasn't he?
Yeah, and got sent off for England as well. But on the right hand side, you can put him on the right hand side, and you can put him as a number 10. And we've had Chaplin, Enciso, Hutchinson, and Jack Taylor as well as a number 10. But they haven't quite cut the mustard sort of thing in terms of making an impact.
Is
like
that
in
because
midfield.
you haven't been in the team long enough?
Possibly.
But been in and out and in and out.
There's been chop and change with the front four all the time.
Chop and change all over the place.
All the time, and it's not squad rotation; it's injuries, and suspensions as well. But it has been difficult to get a consistency from that number 10. We haven't got Gibbs White, is it, from Forest? We haven't got someone like that can spray a pass and unlock the door. We haven't really got that. But we've got players that are neat and tidy, and Chappers especially. He can play a pass through, but he's been injured.
Yeah. Well, the money we get for Muric when we inevitably sell him, will buy us.
Who?
Somebody. Stamp. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. Phillips going to go. He'll go, won't he?
I think so. Yeah.
He'll drive his Rolls Royce up north, I think, or something like that. Yeah. He'll go back. Yeah.
I think at times he's looked pretty good though.
Yeah.
But again, he's picked up a couple of niggly injuries that have kept him out, and I know he got a bad gash in a foot a few weeks ago. Carried on playing as if nothing's happened, but then he missed a couple of games.
Yeah,
after
I think he struggled for that consistency, and the more the season went on, and he shrugged off the injury and came back into the team, the better he looked. He did look quite good, good at the latter part of the season, but he didn't make an impact that I don't think he made the impact that we would have wanted.
Okay, Kayuste. Got to try and keep him, haven't we? Do you think, crowd? Keep Jens? Yes.
I think for the first 90% of the games he played, he was taken off after 75 minutes. I think they're trying to protect him because he either got a bad knee or something like that. So this is this injury issue that we're worried about again. I think he's got better and better. He's a very comfortable player. His body language worried me a couple of times when, we've gone behind late on in games and you can see his shoulders slump a little bit. And
I think we saw that in the stands. Everybody's shoulders slump when we went behind.
Yeah. So, but a good player. Yeah,
I like him. I think he's good. He's gradually improved, and for me, he's a number 1 start today in the team because he can get forward, and when he breaks with the ball and he goes forward, he looks like Bellingham in that position. So he's a poor man's Bellingham if you want to be brutal about it. But I liked him. I thought he had the right attitude in terms of experience and getting forward, and the experience of playing this season, and made him more confident.
I think he's been quite disciplined in where he's played on the pitch, hasn't he? He's always sort of been that left side and just gone up and down there and done that job.
There's sort of rumours of teams trying to cherry pick some of our players, like Hutchinson, and obviously Delap's going the sort of big time, but someone like Karius, I think there's talk that someone may try and nick these. Ben Johnson or something like that, or Twenzebe, or these little things. I don't know, but you never know what goes on because agents have got to sell, got to buy players, or players have got to move because that's how they get paid. So there'll be all kinds of talk about people possibly leaving the club. But I hope if he does retain a vast proportion of the players here, then, well, I think it could be another great season next year.
Some other names to throw in. Ciso, obviously, on loan with us. Hell of a goal, wasn't it, the other day?
Yeah.
Goal of the season?
Goal of the season, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another category for next week sorted.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, without a doubt. He's good. He's exciting because he's got a little bit of pace, a little bit of trickery. If he tries to nutmeg somebody and go the other side and it doesn't work, then he doesn't get bothered about it. We do, but he doesn't get bothered about it. So he's got that confidence. And when he hit that shot, blimey, it was a good job there was a net on the back of that goal, because it would have killed a few spectators. Which is probably a good thing, but I can't really say that.
Yeah, decent player, isn't he?
He is a decent player.
Yeah,
I mean, he's young and he's raw, but it's beautiful to see, isn't it? Really nice to see. You all enjoyed Ciso? Yeah.
We've got some players out, of course. Cam Humphreys has had a fantastic season, hasn't he?
Player of the season.
Player of the season, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's really good.
Yes.
Another category, someone says in the audience.
On loan player who had the best season away from the club, Cam Humphreys. Thank you.
Where's he been playing?
Wickham.
No, we're on the pitch.
Oh, Wickham.
He got there in a car, Ross. You've had to be with us all season.
You're a bit brave then, Mark. A bit brave. And I must say...
Well, I'm behind the bar. Look.
I must say, it is your birthday today.
It is.
Yay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Murphy. Happy birthday to you. Hey! 64 today. 64.
Why were you born so?
It's a little warm in here now, so thank you for that. Elkin Baggett, you've been a fan of him in the past, haven't you? Both of you, I think.
Yep, he's been away as well.
Yep.
But he's you should get him as well, because he's got the biggest social media numbers in the world, I think, for a player.
How would you compare him to Jacob Greaves?
He's naturally left-footed. Don't think Greaves is, but no, I think Greaves started the season really well, and then obviously had injuries and then struggled to get back. But Baggett's one that he knows that he's not quick, and he can drop off. I mean, that's what I used to do. I thought, I'm not going to match anybody for pace, but you do try and read it when you do lack pace. So I think he would have learnt a lot going on loan as well, and he plays big international games in front of a lot of people, so he has the mentality. But I think, I'd like to see him back here. I'd love to see Humphreys back here, really would, because he would turn a few heads in the Championship like he's done.
Is Elkin Baggett a bit too similar to Cameron Burgess then?
Yeah, he's probably quicker than Cameron, but
well, there's talk of Burgess going off, isn't there already?
Yeah, there's all these little snippets of information, but I think Cameron Burgess has done all right, to be honest, when he's been in the team.
Yeah, he's solid.
And I think the boys at the back have given it their best. There's no, you can't say that they haven't tried. It's just that you're looking at a standard of player, and they're not quite up there with a lot of the Premier League players. And it's not their fault at the end of the day, but it is what it is.
I had to laugh the other day when he got O'Shea, Wolfie, Cameron Burgess, and Jacob Greaves, 4 centre halves across the back four. Poor Mick McCarthy would have been slaughtered for that. I know Connor Townsend was injured, so he didn't have a left back to replace Leif Davis, who was injured, so did what he had to do.
And what about Leif? Because he's one of those players where some people think he's absolutely brilliant, and others say he's great going forward, but not so good at being a defender.
Well, he had two great seasons in League One and the Championship, and he looked the part. He really did, and a lot of people saying he looks like an international player. But then he's come up against really top class opposition, and a lot of the teams will play with the two wide men with pace. There's a lot of pace in the Premier League, and that's what we struggle to defend against. But he's a player that can still supply chances. He didn't get forward as much as well, so I think he's thinking to himself, if I go there and I can get caught out, because he got caught out a few times in the Championship and League One with going forward, and then we conceded goals in his area. So I think he was very, very conscious of that, because it's obviously so
His best play was in the attacking final third,
absolutely, yeah.
wasn't it? You know, so when we didn't get him in there as often this season, we never saw the quality of final balls coming in from him as regularly as we had the last 2 seasons prior to that. And I don't know whether that sort of highlighted the fact that he makes 1 or 2 mistakes defensively. You know, when he's producing at the other end of the pitch, you think, forget about him defensively, and just let him attack. But we weren't getting that end product from him the other end of the pitch.
I think he's one again that will learn a lot from that, because he looks an intelligent player. So I think he'll learn to say, well, that's really helped me because I can't do this, I shouldn't do this, but I can do this. And I think that'll make him hungrier when we do go back in the Championship to say, right, I'm going to be that player again. But in the Premier League, you've got to time it right. If you get caught going forward and they go back behind you, then we're vulnerable because it drags out a centre half and then there's holes and everything else.
It'll be a character tester for 1 or 2, won't it?
It will be. I mean, this is
coming out of the Premier League and saying, right,
this is how you bounce back, and you lose a cup final and you lose your place in the top league and all that. It makes you more determined the next time, and I think they'll be far more determined than they were when they went up to the Championship, because it was all new and it was lovely jubbly. No one expects this sort of thing. But when we come down now we're a target. Now we're like down from the Premier League. All this money, so-called money, that's going to come to us with the parachute payments. We've got targets on our chests and all that sort of thing, whereas we didn't have that before in the Championship. So it's a new one, but you have to adapt, and I think football is all about adapting to different systems, adapting to different opponents and all this sort of thing. So these players have shown that they have the ability and they know what it's like to go up. So I can't see why they can't do it again.
Where would you strengthen Russ?
Well, I think you've got to have a look at what you've got in your squad, what the contract situation is like with your players there. At the moment, I think there's 7 players coming into the last year. My reckoning is Connor Chaplin, Nathan Broadhead, Jack Taylor. I mean, Wes Burns. I mean, a horrible injury for him, but, we lost him all season. Christian Walton. If he goes and we get a few quid for him, is Kieran Slicker good enough to fill his boots and be the second-string keeper? I don't know. I've not seen enough of Kieran Slicker. Then Connor Townsend. So if you decide to let him go, we need a left back. And then Sam Morsey. So there's a lot of juggling around to do there. And I'm glad I'm not involved in it anymore.
I think there will be ins and outs, obviously, but you've got to get another striker. If Delap goes, you obviously have to.
We've got Al Hamady to come back.
You need another striker. So I think you've got to have the 2 ones especially, but three really, players that can do the business. If that's what we're going to do, is play with one up front all the time. You've got to have that because you're going to get injuries.
Okay. Would you like to be selecting these? Would you like to be facing Kieran's dilemma? Russ has obviously said he doesn't fancy it. Would you?
Possibly not. No. I need a nice bottle of whiskey just in case things go wrong. But no, you'd look at it and because it's like fantasy football. Like the manager can play that game sort of thing. Who would you want, and who you're going to buy, and who you're going to all this sort of thing. It's fascinating, but at the same time, you've got to get the blend right of whoever you bring in. And you got to get. We had a team last year that had never played a lot of the players had never played in the Premier League, so it was a hope. It's a more hope than anything else. And the Championship, we know the Championship, we know a lot of the teams and a lot of the players, so it's going to be far more familiar. So therefore, you've got to pick your team. You pick your team, or pick the newcomers to win or to get promoted from the Championship. So, and then having done that, and the players that you've signed already this season, start this season, they would have got experience and they'll be better players. Then you can meet the demands of the Premier League far more confidently and far better than we did before. Because going up was it was a dream, wasn't it? It was utopia sort of thing. And all of a sudden, it's been disappointing. But at the same time, it's certainly helped our club and helped with the finances and helped with watching them as well, and the crowds have just been magnificent. They really have.
As it's my
and
birthday,
for the ladies as well, they've been
come to them in a minute. As it's my birthday today, I never thought that I would see Ipswich Town in the Premier League ever again at one point. You know, we were languishing in League One, you know, Fleetwood, Lincoln, all those dreadful times. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's involved in the club for giving us a season of Premier League football,
yeah,
which I didn't think we'd ever have. So great, we go again.
Yep, we go again. Was that the show over? We done now?
No, let's talk about Everton last week. We've mentioned Enciso's goal. I mean, come back to draw there. That was at least it's a point on the board, isn't it? Good performance.
Yeah, they kept going, didn't they? All the way through to the end.
There's not many games where we've actually gone behind and then managed to claw ourselves back in. I don't think we ever won a game like that. So
There's 2 goals again.
There's 2 goals again, yeah. But it shows that the players are still fighting for the club. I think Kieran said that as well, which was a great comment. So yeah, it's Everton are a team that have conceded 2-goal leads at home as well. So they've got a history of that. And it was nice for us to actually, catch up, and particularly Enciso's goal, it sort of lifted us. It lifted everybody, the crowd and everything, and it knocked them down. And now they're only 1 goal ahead, and so it was great to see, wasn't it? And for me, we actually looked like a real team, sort of thing. Very well organised at the back, particular, very strong. Could we score more goals? Could we get the winner, which would have been brilliant. So yeah, there's glimpses, and we've had glimpses, haven't we? We've had glimpses of a really good team.
Yeah,
but it's not been continued, like over 60 minutes, 70 minutes. It's just, you get a glance and you're like, then it shuts off.
I think you put it in a nutshell earlier when you said just promoted too soon.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Do you all think that, promoted too soon?
So we've had a bonus season, haven't we, everybody?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's still glorious. It's a glorious failure sort of thing in many respects, but it's still an attempt that we've had to go up. But it's got to be repeated. That's the objective now. It's got to be, they've got to be given the money, and they've got to be picking the right players. Because if we can do that, and like Burnley eventually got to the top of the table, but it took them time as well to adapt, and that's what we've got to be prepared for. Because too many managers, too many clubs, when you get promotion and then you get relegation, if you don't start well in the league, then the managers go. That's what happens. So I don't think that will happen. But it's not so much the start; it's the end of the season that you have to finish up there. So it could be difficult in a way to get to know the Championship again, but you're looking long term. You're not looking short term.
Okay. Well, it's time to pick this week's Player of the Week, sponsored by the Dove in Ipswich. Russell.
Enciso.
Okay. Any particular reason?
I just like his hair, the way he's a few highlights in there.
Terry.
Well, I'm going down a different line.
Are you?
Yes. I'll say Enciso, but it's not for his hair.
Okay.
It was for the shot. It was for the goal.
It was a screamer, wasn't it?
I mean, wow. It was. I thought, what's he doing? What's he shooting for? Oh, great goal! Brilliant. Well done. More of that. But how many long-range shots go in now? In not just our football, but in the Premier League and the Championship. How many people have the confidence to hit it and believe in it, sort of thing? So it was really lovely to see. It was a refreshing throwback, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was great, wasn't it? Fantastic to see. So Enciso is our Player of the Week. Everybody, well done.
There's an award for that.
Just a quick reminder about our end of season bash. Who's bought their tickets? Oh, quite a few here. That's good. Excellent. They're on sale now. They will stop being on sale at the weekend. So www.lifesapitch.tv to book your tickets, please. £35 a head, includes a meal. Rubbing shoulders with legends like Terry, Russell, George Burley, Johnny Walk. All sorts of people will be coming along. So it'll be a good night. So we'll hopefully see you for that. It's time now for Ask the Legends, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. And here is Simon from Seckford. Can I just do the scores on the doors? So Russell's been in the lead all season pretty much, I think. 16.5 points. Terry, 14.5. The gap was a little bit closer than that before, but...
I'm delighted.
It's not bad.
No, I'm delighted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is
happy.
a chance to close that gap even more tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Not really, but go on.
Simon.
Right, here we go.
You're going to love this one, Butch.
So during the 24-25 Premier League season, up to and including the Everton match, how many corners have Ipswich had in the 35 matches?
I mean, that's a really sad question, isn't it, for goodness sake? Do you not go out at night or something like that? Or what do you stay there doing that? That is unbelievable. Is that a reflection of your character at all?
Not at all, no.
No. Perhaps I'm a bit harsh, but you do talk some rubbish every now and then.
Yeah. You'll get your own back on the golf course, won't you?
I'll get him back tomorrow.
So what was the question again?
How many corners have Ipswich had
this
during
season?
the 24-25 up to the Everton match and including the match?
How many corners? We sort of need some sort of music while we're deliberating, don't we?
Don't we?
Yeah. Do 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 do.
We've got double points next week, Mark. Is it going to be double points next week?
Yeah, it could be double points next
Couldn't
week.
it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So during the 2024-2025 Premier League season, up to and including the Everton match, how many corners have Ipswich had in the 35 matches? Russell looks like he's
stuck in the corner here, isn't he?
Drawing a house
He's
or something.
stuck in the corner.
Terry, yes? Got an answer? Okay.
I have an answer, but it's miles off.
Okay. Would you like to go first, Butch?
89.
89 corners. Okay.
95.
Not bad.
Do you want to give them the average and then they maybe can work it out from there?
3.83 average per game. 134 in total we've had. 134.
Words fail me. Words fail me.
Sorry, Terry.
You'd be talking about now how many yellow boots have been worn by Ipswich Town players.
That's next week's question.
That's next week. Yeah, there was an award for the most famous player with yellow boots next week. We can't do that now. It's Russell 17.5, Terry 14.5.
Well done, boys.
An average of 3.83 per game.
And how many goals do we get from those corners, by the way?
Well, there is a chant that used to go around in the commentary box, in the PA announcer's box, that we never score from corners. And I think that chant probably was sung quite a lot again this season. So, because we don't really score from corners, do we?
So
We have a set-piece specialist though now, don't we?
They do. So the number of corners really is a meaningless stat, isn't it, really?
Well, it's for you tonight, yes. Right, we have got some special guests in the studio. All season long, we've been treated to some fantastic programme images. And we started the season off with them on the front page of our programmes at Ipswich Town. And then as the season went on, they went inside. But they have been absolutely fantastic. And we have, from the Call Me Ted team, we've got Richard, Steve, and Dan is here. So Steve, Richard, come up to the microphone. Come on, boys. Give them a round of applause because they are fabulous bits of artwork. Come over, Dan, as well. Yes. So you have to get Steve. You're going to have to get right up close to that microphone. Give it a little, give it a little kiss. That's it. That'll do. So how did this all come about then?
So we're lifelong Town fans, and we've always wanted to do something kind of creative around the club. We've been doing lots of things locally. We used to do put on gigs, and we used to create posters for those. So we wanted to try and combine that creativity with the love for the club. So we had this idea of doing a kind of a gig-style poster for every game this season, and we work with a different artist for every game. Dan being the latest one of those artists. The artists either come up with their own ideas, or we give them an idea and let their creativity go. So we've got completely different styles across all of the posters.
And a lot of them are up around Ipswich, aren't they, in shop windows?
Yeah. So Ipswich Central have been really good. They've supported us. They've put posters up in vacant shop windows, but we also work with loads of independent shops and bars, restaurants who put the posters up in their window as well. So it's created a really nice buzz. It's given us an opportunity to kind of build relationships with them as well. So lots of independent retailers supporting an independent project, basically.
And Richard, you come up to the microphone as well. Look, come on, don't be shy. These are fantastic, aren't they? The feedback from fans and everybody has been really very, very positive, hasn't it?
I like them.
Yeah.
They're good. It's been overwhelmingly positive, isn't it? Like Steve said, we we take the posters around to shops. The idea was to sort of inject some colour, some positivity, some vibrance. So we print them off, take them to the shops, and over the last 18 match days, we've got to know all these people, build up friendships. We go there with our little folder in hand, and they're like, "Oh, who's this one?" It's really, really exciting. So yeah, it's really positive. People, if they don't like them, they seem to keep their thoughts themselves.
You can't please everybody. You should know that by now.
But that's the whole thing. Like we want to sort of we want to get people guessing what's going to be next. So we've done Steve. So Steve did the Liverpool one that you've got in front of you, and it's based on it's a bit of a take on you and your daughter, isn't it? Yeah. But the relationship between a father and a daughter going to football is not an often explored theme, is it, for football imagery? So we try to do things like that. We've had like a still life of a vase. Russell got involved because we went old school with Escape to Victory crew.
You've got a big version of that here, haven't you? Somewhere? Let's get that up on the camera if we can hold that up.
Mark, I thought all this stuff was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
And when it first came out on the front of the programme, I thought the club has done something unique there. And they should keep it on the front of the programme. It is absolutely magnificent. Each of them are splendid in their own right, and they set our programme completely apart from anybody else in the Premier League this year to start with, and then they had to tuck them in the back, didn't you?
Well, I think credit to Russell as well. Russell reached out to us after the very first poster and said how impressed he was with them, which, when we were starting out, that definitely meant a lot. We've been really good support of the project.
Well, it's great to see. Ed's falling down. Look, Ed's, you're being attacked by cardboard Ed Sheeran. Tick him under there. It's good to see Pele in a town shirt. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
At last.
It took a while.
But that was Alan Brazil's nickname. He was always called Pele, so there's already one that goes there.
Yeah, good point. And we've got one as well, which, Dan, do you want to come up to the microphone? Because Dan's one of our sponsors from Come Hither Design. Tell us what you've come up with, Dan. This is for the game at the weekend against Brentford.
The Brentford... Sorry, I'm trying to get the reflections out. This is for the Brentford game on Saturday. I'd previously done a Sgt. Pepper design back in 1998 for the 20th anniversary of the 1978 Cup final. And the guys from Call Me Ted said, can you kind of revisit it? And so this time it's celebrating the last 3 seasons, basically, the double back-to-back promotion and achieving Premier League status. So, it's a Sgt. Pepper pastiche.
Yeah. And as you go back, there are legends and legends and legends.
Exactly. The
Lonely Hearts Club at the back.
But the background's made up of every member of the Hall of Fame, the Ipswich Town Hall of Fame. So you've got the friend of the show. Got Pat Gobbald's on there, all the old managers, etc. So there's like over 100.
Anybody you forgot?
Well, Well, interestingly, yes. I've on our Come Hither Design website there is a guide to all those who appear. So I did a illustrative version, numbered them all, and cross-referenced them, and all off the list of Hall of Fame members, and then realised an hour before we launched the design last Wednesday, was it, at 8 o'clock, about 7 p.m. I noticed that I'd missed one person off. And I thought,
and they noticed as well, didn't they?
Well, yeah. I phoned them instantly and said, "Look, I've missed somebody off. Simon Milton's not in the back row, and of all the people, I know Simon, and he's gonna.
And he lives nearby, doesn't he?
And he's local to me, and I'm not going to be able to live it down." They said, "Oh, it's all right, don't worry, no one will notice." I said, "No, we've got to do a reprint. This is ridiculous." And of course, I re-artworked it, dropped him in, sent it off, but you kind of launched the design without the redesign, and the first comment on Instagram was Simon Milton saying, "Where am I?" So I replied to it and said, "Look, it's all in hand, don't worry."
So do you get a choice now, Dan? Can you buy one with Milks or without
Milks? They had already been printed, hadn't they? So I think there is a limited edition. If you look out in the streets, you might spot a Sans Milton design.
I'm playing golf with him on Friday. I'll
wind him up a bit.
So
that'll be in the programme this week.
Yeah, this is this programme's design, and then we did they've also produced an album-sized version. So obviously all the posters are A-sized, A3 sized, and so this is the kind of album version that we're going to donate to the Life's a Pitch for the Wall.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. Oh, that'd be good.
So,
yeah, brilliant. And Steve, just come back to Mike for us.
Yeah.
Going to do more next season? Is the plan to carry on?
We definitely want to do something next season. Whether we'll do one for every game, I don't know. It's been a little bit. Yeah, it's been quite a lot of work.
It's quite a challenge to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's been brilliant. It's been so much fun doing it. So the most immediate thing we're doing is we're doing an exhibition. So we're going to do an exhibition of all of the artwork. That's going to take place from the weekend after next for a week leading up to the final home game. So great opportunity. It's going to be free. It's in the Butter Market. So you can come along, see all the artwork, see some of the things that inspired the artwork as well. And then during the week, we're going to be doing some projects with local schools so they can come in and kids can kind of see the artwork, be inspired by the artwork, meet some of the artists, and then create their own posters as well. So,
well, I think it's been a fantastic thing. Don't we all think so? Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Well done. And thank you for donating one for our studio wall. And Dan, we'll look forward to putting yours up as well very soon. Thank you very much. Call Me Ted boys. They're great, aren't they?
Very good.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Unique.
Actually, Mark, in the 81 squad, we had a lot of artists. But they didn't draw a thing, so there we are.
Yes.
Well, follow that. Go on, off you go.
No, it's fine.
Definitely couldn't draw.
There's a celebration on Saturday. There's a celebration Saturday of Ipswich Town winning promotion. So that's going to be on the Cornhill on Saturday. So we wish them all the very best for that. Trophy's going to be there. Lots of things going on the Cornhill for them ahead of the game on Saturday, which would be really nice to see.
They were brilliant last week as well.
They were great guests, weren't they?
Brilliant.
Yeah, if you haven't looked at it yet, you please have a look because they were great guests.
How was Sheila?
Sheila, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, it's Rachel. Yeah, I called her Sheila when she first came in.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So that went.
Do you think
down
she's
well.
Australian or something, or what?
No, I know. No, I was doing some research and I got it completely wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. How small did I feel when I was out there? I told her. But she overcame that quite comfortably, brushed me aside and got on with it. So they were very, very good.
No, they were good guests. They really were.
Thanks for that, Russell.
So we've got the Ed tickets. We've talked about that, haven't we? Fabio's got a new opponent as well, so there's lots going to go on at Portman Road over the next few weeks. What should we do now? Let's do the Table Football Challenge, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics. Right, I think it's time for the Call Me Ted boys to take on Osman and Butcher. So Steve and Richard. Round the other side you go. So I have to say, Richard's got one of my favourite shirts on, actually. The old Fison's one like that. Very nice. So you've got 60 seconds. 60 seconds to score as many goals as you can against our Ipswich and England legends. 5 is what you've got to beat. Luke Chambers got that on the first game of the season. And there will be a trophy for this next week. So you've got 60 seconds. Are you ready? And we're off. Oh, yes! 1-0 to Call Me Ted. 1-0 to Call Me Ted. Come on, 4 more. And your legal Chambo. 4 more. 1-0. 1-0 at the moment. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Oh, come on, Call Me Ted. Come on. Oh, good shot, Call Me Ted. Oh! 2-0. 2-0. 2-0 to Call Me Ted. Come 3-0. Oh, 3-0 to Call Me Ted. Come on. There's a prize. 3-1. 3-1. Come on. It's how many goals you score. 3 so far. You've got a good 15 seconds to bang. Oh, off the line. Call Me Ted playing fantastically well here. Got a few more moments to go. Well, we're 3-1 at the moment. See if we can get another one in. It's close. Oh, good save from Terry Butcher. Oh! Oh, well done, boys. Well done. Where have you been all season?
Actually, our plan backfired because we were trying to get Chamber off the top. That's why the goalkeeper conceded those goals. It nearly worked as well.
You should have let me in on that. I'd have given you another 10 seconds.
Go back again.
So, well done. I'm knackered after that. I don't know about anybody else. Fantastic. Well done. Right, what should we do next? Oh, yes, On This Day in History, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
Right, on this day in history from Dan Botton's book, I'm going to start on Wednesday, the 6th of May, 1981. Exactly 3 years to the day after the famous FA Cup final victory, another memorable chapter in the history of Ipswich Town was written. Facing Dutch champions AZ 67 Alkmaar at a bouncing Portman Road, the Blues emphatically won 3-0 in the first leg of the UEFA Cup final. We all know what happened after that. Monday, the 7th of May, 1984.
Tell us. What did that? Go on, tell us. What happened in the other leg?
Okay. The Blues emphatically won 3-0 in the first leg of the UEFA Cup final to give themselves a great chance of claiming their first piece of European silverware. A surprisingly rugged, cynical Dutch side was swept aside and trailed at half-time thanks to a John Walk penalty. Outwitted by fellow countrymen Muir and Tyson, the visitors were undone by 2 simple goals within 10 minutes of the second half. Tyson's headed home after his shot was parried, and then Alan Brazil's brilliant cross was flicked home by Mana as Town set themselves up for the second leg in Amsterdam.
Brilliant.
And that was it. Monday, the 7th of May, 1984. I don't remember this one. Town avoided relegation from Division 1 with a fantastic fight back to beat Manchester United 2-1 at Old Trafford. Inspired signing Alan Sunderland scored one, while Mish DeVray's late winner was watched by 44,257 stunned fans.
Were you not captain that day?
I might have been, yeah.
Yeah. He was. That was when Bobby Ferguson went into the Manchester United dressing room. That's right, yeah.
Just remind us of that.
Well, you all know the story.
No,
Russell tells it better.
Well, the 2 captains had to go with the managers into the referee's room, and you swap the team sheets, and the referee gives you a little bit of a chat and lecture before the game. And I think it was Ron Atkinson and Brian Robson and myself and Bobby Ferguson went in there. Me and Brian Robson had a little chat afterwards. Ron Atkinson went his merry way, and Bobby Ferguson went off down the corridor back to the changing room, intensely studying their lineup. Walked in the changing room and started slating their players, saying, Vivanis, he couldn't play, his legs are gone, and Remy Moses, bloody hopeless he was, and his language wasn't the best, Bobby Ferguson. And then he looked up and he was in the Manchester United changing room.
So I can hear that week in, week out, that story. I think it's just great.
Right. Also, Saturday the 7th of May, 1994, pint-sized Mark Steens injury time winner for Chelsea against Sheffield United at Stamford Bridge meant the Blades were relegated instead of Ipswich on the final day of the Premiership season. And that's it from this day in history. Thank you, Dan Botton.
Yeah, thank you, Dan, very much. Time for the Man v Fat results this week. Better week on the scales this week after the Easter blip. 10.3 kilograms lost as a group, and our 2 amazing losers were Jose Simoes and Mike Eglantine. The guys are looking forward to their game under the lights at Portman Road on the 19th of June and a 7-a-side tournament at Lilleshall in July. So this week's results: OB City 8, Athletic Gingivitis 2, RB Liposuction 7, Kebabadine 4. Ips Chips Town 11, the Sweaty Blue Tits 8.
Oh, come on, the tits. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Yeah.
Give me a bit of a team talk, Butch.
Yeah. They need a bit of support, I think. That's what they need. And there are other jokes available.
Yeah, there are, yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. This weekend, obviously, we've got a game at home. What do you think, Terry, Russell? What do you think?
Well, they're unbeaten in the last 5. They've won the last 3 in a row, so they're on form. I don't know. I think let's finish with a bang. That's what everybody hopes that they will do, and I think that's what they want to do. So I'll go in for a Tam victory.
It's got to be 3-2 then. Or 4-2, because we'll concede 2.
Yeah. Well, we were 2-0 up against them at their place, weren't we? And they came back, so it won't be 0-0. I haven't said that now. It probably will be 0-0, but we don't do clean sheets as well. So no, I will win.
Okay.
2-1.
Okay.
2-1. 3-2.
Okay.
To us.
Okay. I'll go for a 3-1.
Yep, that's
All
right.
right.
Good.
Great to have you both with us as always this week. Thank you very much for your insightful thoughts on how the season has panned out. Still a way to go, of course. And don't forget, if you haven't booked your tickets yet, don't worry about Ed Sheeran. Come to what I know. Do book Ed Sheeran tickets as well. Come along to our end of season bash. Wednesday is next week, the 14th of May. www.lifesapitch.tv to book your tickets. There's a meal and there are legends and hopefully a couple of players from the club as well. Butch Russell, thank you very much. Capacity Crowd, thank you very much. You've been amazing. Probably the best crowd this season, I think, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll be back next week, but until then, everybody, Blue Army!
Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army! Blue Army!
This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.